Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special English broadcasting for those citizens living abroad and also world intellectuals who have much interest on the Korean Peninsula. The title is 9/19 South-North Military Pact Dismantlement and the Need for South Korea-Japan, China's Trilateral Summit. Unstable security situation on the Korean Peninsula is being more and more worsened, entering the new Cold War era in East Asia. And many South Korean intellectuals have raised a serious question regarding the defense capacity of a Korea-US alliance as far as North Korea's nuclear brinkmanship is concerned. The number of nuclear weapons in North Korea is unofficially estimated to reach more than 100. In conclusion, to the liberal conservatives in Seoul as of now, hawkish response is unavoidable to deal with North Korea's continuing provocations. South Korea's intelligence agency told the members of the National Assembly recently after satellite launching that Russian technological assistance enabled North Korea successful launch of a spy satellite since the successfully launching on 21st November. North Korea also declared the total end of the 2018 military pact right after the South Korea's defense ministry announced the willingness to end the pact partially. And after the satellite launch, the South Korean government announced that it would resume surveillance and reconnaissance activities along the military demarcation line, which has been restricted under the 2018 Inter-Korean Military Agreement, aimed at reducing the risk of accidental clashes along the border. Responding to the announcement, the North Korea's defense ministry declared that it would resume immediately all the activities it has suspended under the pact, and also declared that North Korea would deploy more powerful armed forces and new type of military hardware along the military demarcation line, saying that it would never be bound by the pact in the future and warned that South Korea would pay high prices for abrogating part of the agreement. Actually, this is nonsense in that North Korea has violated the agreement frequently in the past since the pact was signed. Very hawkish remarks by North Korea's mouth came like this. The satellite launch was a legitimate act of self-defense and South Korea would be wholly responsible if any kinds of clashes between the two Koreas occur in the future. It is North Korea who violated the pact from the beginning. Nobody could doubt the fact that the launch was clear violation of the UN Security Council resolutions and serious provocation against the international community. The pact itself has actually weakened South Korea's defense capacity. Routine tactics of North Korea's military provocations and following propaganda and the distortion of the fact and shifting the blame to the South have been widely recognized as the major reasons to escalate tensions on the divided Korean Peninsula. One crucial question at this moment is that until when is South Korea to endure North Korea's tactics and military provocations? Until when? Until when? As of now, North Korea is potentially estimated to own already more than 100 nuclear bombs and could carry those bombs to the US main territory by launching intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear warhead. Actually, this is the situation. We could call it a game-changer risk. And North Korea is continuing to level up tensions on the border area after its first launching its reconnaissance satellite on November 21st, 2023. It has redeployed troops and military equipment at guard posts along the MDL. Its main purpose to raise tensions on the border area is to create hostile stances against South Korea, to make its starving people united mentally, and to kill the domestic political instability by creating tension against the outside world. The dictatorial regime in the north used to utilize this kind of tactic in the past. Complete nullification declaration of a military agreement signed 5 years ago clearly paves the way for North Korea to create more spaces for its regime survival. North Korea's dictatorial regime survival strategy in the framework of nuclear weapons manipulation and political propaganda has worked quite successfully till now, in that Russia, China, North Korea military cartel has been more concretely cemented, and nullification tactics of all the UN Security Council resolutions imposed on North Korea's violations of international rules helps North Korea to gain certain amount of necessary technologies and fuel and food at the minimum level from its allies. Still, the question being that how South Korea deals with such military brinkmanship made by North Korea. We do not have any clear method to stop them. New Cold War structure formulated since escalated Washington-Beijing military and economic confrontation in the 21st century is gaining more weight from North Korea to take advantage of the structures for its regime survival. In the Inter-Korean Summit at Panmunjom in April 2018, North Korea promised a long peace of time by the mouth of Kim Jong-un, North Korean leader. However, all the repeated launches of missiles and rockets and satellite to break his hopeful promises has brought North Korea the deepened isolation from the international community. Still, the crucial question remains: can South Korea deter further provocation from North Korea on using diplomatic channels to stop North Korea from taking extreme actions? Strengthen the military cooperation between the US and South Korea to avoid a military clash with North Korea has effectively worked out as of now. But in the area of its nuclear tactics, we have failed. The two allies must augment deterrences by mobilizing all the strategic assets to kill the North Korea's provocations. Otherwise, China's role behind the scene is to be secured. In addition to this, effective measures could be mobilized only by the China's active involvement to deter North Korea from further actions. In this context, trilateral summit talks and possible agreement to deal with North Korea among Seoul, Tokyo, and Beijing could be fully utilized to stop North Korea from further violations of the international community resolutions. China's interest could also be best secured when South Korea and Japan could fully cooperate with China in terms of economic cooperation. And during the period of six-party talks in the year 2003, and China's cooperation to pass the UN resolutions on international sanctions on North Korea, it has made it possible to restrain North Korea from further provocations toward the international community. Now is the right time we could seek ways to induce China to fully cooperate with our UN scheme to stop North Korea from further irregularities. So in this context, we need a trilateral summit of South Korea, Japan, and People's Republic of China. So crisis situation on the Korean Peninsula is not to be reduced as of now, but we should try to seek all the means available to reduce this kind of security risk on the Korean Peninsula. Thank you very much.